And then we come back to the room, and there's one kid talking with our pastor at the time about visions he's seeing, things that are afflicting him, demons that are afflicting him, coming and talking to him. My eyes were open to the demonic realm. I was saved at a very young age where I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. And for most of my life, from then on till about the age of 15, I wasn't really with the Lord. I just kept on sinning. I didn't do anything to stop sinning. So yeah, I was invited to this church and I stayed with them for a couple months. And then one day when I was there, they said we were going on a trip to Florida. And I was really excited about that. I've been on other youth trips in the past. I know a bunch of fun games to play and everything. So I was really excited to go. So we get down there. The first night we had an amazing worship like I had never been a part of in my life. And then we come back to the room, and there's one kid talking with our pastor at the time about visions he's seeing, things that are afflicting him, demons that are afflicting him, coming and talking to him, showing him like very horrible things that are going to happen to people around him and to the camp. And then the second night turns into just I don't know how to explain it besides just people just cleaning out their closet. They told every sin that they've ever done, things very personal to them, things that most people you'd probably never hear come out of their mouth. And then from there, worship started flowing, and people started actually, demons started manifesting out of people. And at that time, I was very just, I had a hard feeling towards the Lord. I was very like mad at him because of some people dying in my family that I was close to. So I wasn't really all in at that point. And I ran outside in the middle of an absolute is it a thunder? I think it was a thunderstorm coming through. And I broke down crying, and like the Lord just encountered me there, and just the love of God fell upon me. And it was just a radical, just in touch from the Lord. And I gave my life to Christ at that moment. And then a couple days later, we actually got baptized there. So after the trip to Florida, I realized that I was bound and oppressed by demons, and I've been oppressed for years. So when we got back, I actually talked to my pastor, and I went through deliverance, and I got free from the demons of masturbation. I got free from the demons of lust, and I got free from the demons of rage. And since then, I've stopped looking at social media. I've stopped looking at pornography, and I haven't been angry in a very, very long time. So one day I was at my house and I had the unction to go outside and sit with the Lord. So as I went outside, I sat down and I felt the presence of the Lord come sit beside me. We were sitting there for a little bit in silence, and then he asked me, he said, "What do you think?" I said, "Of what, Lord?" He said, "What do you think of my creation?" I said, "It's beautiful." He said, "Are the people of this world not my creation? Why do you make fun of them? Why do you treat them differently for how I made them?" And he said, "How do the people of this world see you when you treat them differently, when you make fun of them? How do you think they see you? It's not in the way I've called you to be. I've called you to love them and treat them nice and fairly, not to hate on them or speak bad about them or treat them any differently." And afterwards, he reminded me, he said, "This is not condemnation, this is correction." So after all that, I have grown so much in my relationship with Christ. I've been able to hear my Father's voice for the first time in a very long time. Through that, I've given up a lot of things that are of the world and that aren't godly. I've grown in my prophetic gifting. I'm able to see into the spiritual realm. I'm able to speak in tongues. I'm able to do a lot of different things from the prophetic gifting that the Lord has anointed me with. I was once a bound religious Christian, and now I am a set free, Holy Spirit filled Christian. I'm Noah, and I'm a recovering Baptist.